Are you a teacher who is thinking about starting your own tutoring business? Or maybe you're just getting started now? Well, you probably have a lot of fears that you're facing going out into business on your own and teaching independently. And one of the biggest fears that teachers face when they start their own tutoring business is actually really surprising. It is administrative tasks. Can you believe that? Teachers are so good at administrative tasks. Think about it. You are doing all kinds of organization and management and planning for a class of 20, 30, 40 students every single day. And yet, when we go to start our own business, we're worried about how we're going to manage the administrative part of it. You know what? This is totally normal. When I was thinking back on when I started my business, which was not that long ago, only about 3 years ago, I realized that that was one of my biggest fears too. And it was also the area where I made the most mistakes getting started. Now, who am I anyway? Let me introduce myself. My name is Kelly, and I am the host of this YouTube channel, Tutoring Tips for Teachers. I'm also the host of the Tutoring Tips for Teachers Facebook group. I was a classroom teacher for 20 years before I started my own tutoring business and was able to leave the classroom and teach independently. That was my tutoring dream. It came true, and now I want to help other teachers make their tutoring dreams come true as well. Teachers just like you. In this video, I want to give you 3 tips on how you can manage your students in your within your tutoring business and manage the administrative side of your business. And I hope once you have these 3 tips that you won't be so intimidated by all of this and you'll be able to just get started and start getting students without any fear at all. Okay, here we go. My cat is here to join us too. For tip number 1, the first tip I have for you, if you're just starting out and you're just looking to get your first student, maybe 2 or 3 students, then use Google Suite to help you manage your business. This is a really good tool and it's free. You can use Google Docs to share information with your students because you can share the doc with the student or the parent. This way you can share lesson notes, you can share links to resources and materials that the students can use to study between lessons. You can have your student write collaboratively with you so you can see their writing and you can edit their writing. Google Docs is a really amazing tool. Google Sheets is another great tool because this is a spreadsheet where you can organize how you've accepted payments, who's paid you, who still needs to pay, how many classes are left in their package if they buy a tutoring package from you. You can also track your student progress there. For example, I'm a reading tutor, so I regularly assess my students and I use Google Sheets to track their progress. It's a really handy tool for that as well. You can also use Google Classroom, which I know is a little bit more complex than Google Docs or Google Sheets, but if you've used it at school and you're familiar with it, you can set up your own Google Classroom on your own Gmail account, and you can have your own personal Google Classroom for your own personal tutoring students. And guess what? That is free as well. So definitely use Google Suite if you're just starting out because these tools are easy to use. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Classroom, Google Slides, my absolute favorite to present your online lessons, and they're free. And it's a really good way to kind of get your, like, dip your toe in the water of how you're going to manage your business with these really free, easy to use tools. So that's my tip, my first tip. For those of you who are just starting, you just have one student, maybe 2 or 3, use Google Suite to help you manage your business and develop some systems of organization with Google Suite that you can use to grow and get more students and scale your business if that's what you want to do. All right, tip number 2 is about payments. This is another administrative task. Actually, it's kind of a big one that tutors get really worried about when they first start out, and teachers have a lot of fear around this, and it can kind of cause you to stall your business or not start it in the first place just because you're not too sure how you're going to accept payments, you don't feel comfortable with it, and it can just become this big sort of a block to getting your business off the ground and up and running. And don't let it become that. I know it's scary. I know it's scary at first, and I know you may not even know where to even start with accepting payments. So I'm going to give you a few tips right now so you can get over that fear. You'll have a good starting point and you can just get going with tutoring and set up a system so that your parents can pay you and you can start making money doing what you love. So my tip for you is when you're just starting, okay, you're just getting your first few students and you're not making a lot of money, you don't want to invest a lot of money in this business that you're just starting out because you don't have to. And I have a video about that, which I will link up here and in the description box below so you can check that out. So what can you do to accept payments? Well, you probably don't want to accept cash because that can be a major pain if you're tutoring, and if you're tutoring online, you really can't accept cash. So that can be a pain because then the parent has to have the cash ready. What if they forget? There's no way to track what they've paid you and what you've received and all of that. So my suggestion would be stay away from cash payments. Here's what you can do instead. You can use a free invoicing software when you're starting out, like Wave. That's what I used when I first started out. I have no affiliation with them. It's just a free invoicing software that I discovered. I don't even know how I discovered it. And I started using it and it worked really, really well for me. The free version of Wave is actually pretty awesome because it can really help you track who's paid you, what they owe, when they have to pay, and you can send an invoice and a receipt to parents, which they're going to really, really appreciate because they need that for their own record keeping as well. So it really takes your business to kind of like a next level of professionalism when you can send invoices and receipts, which you can do for free through Wave. Now, how you're going to actually accept the payments, that's another story. Some people use PayPal. I mean, that's a pretty simple one that pretty much all of us can access. I have used PayPal to accept payments, and they take a fee. They're all going to take a fee, okay? All the third-party payment systems are going to take a fee. They have to get paid too. But it's a really simple way of doing it. You can even send invoices through PayPal, which is pretty cool. So PayPal's like the easiest thing that I can think of to accept payments. If you are in Canada, where I am, people can actually send you a bank transfer, and you can accept payments that way, which is another simple way of doing it. So just check out the options and see what is available to you where you are in the world. What is the simplest, easiest, most inexpensive way that parents can pay you, so it's going to be easy for you to send the invoice and accept the payment, but it's also going to be easy for the parent to make the payment. You don't want to make it hard for them to pay you. So those are a few suggestions to accept payments when you're just starting out. And just a little disclaimer, be aware that when you use a third-party payment system like PayPal, they're going to take a fee. And you know what? That is just part of doing business. Again, depending on where you are in the world, you may be able to write that fee off as a tax write-off because it is a business expense, right? So look into that with your accountant and see if that is an option for you. And that might make it a little bit easier to pay those fees to PayPal or whatever payment app you are using. Tip number 3 is going to go totally the opposite of tip number 1 and 2. And tip number 3 is this: you can actually invest in a system to help you manage your tutoring business, and you can do it for a very small amount of money. Now, if this is something you're just starting out on and you're not quite sure if you're gonna like stay with it, you're not quite sure if you're gonna like it yet, you're just testing the waters, then I don't think you need to invest in anything just yet. Stick to tip number 1 and 2 and use those free or almost free options to run your business. However, if you've been doing this for a while and you have a few students and you're finding it really tough to manage just using free tools from Google or whatever, then you might want to think about making a small investment into a system that is going to help you manage your business. I use Tutorbird and I love it. It absolutely, literally changed my life. And I will tell you that story in just a moment. But I'm first going to tell you that there are other tutor management systems out there as well. The reason I'm talking about Tutorbird is because that's the one that I use, so I can speak to it, and you can use it too. You can try it out for free for 1 month. Go down in the description box below and you'll find a link there to try Tutorbird out for 1 month for free so you can give it a good test and see if it is going to work for you and your business and see if you like it. And the cost is like, I think I pay around $15 a month for my Tutorbird subscription. And from what I get from it, it is like beyond worth it. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Okay, so when I first started tutoring, I was using the Google Suite tools to manage my business. Google Docs, Google, I still use Google Slides, and I still use Google Classroom, and I still use Google Sheets actually, but I was using it to manage everything. So to share information with parents, I was using Wave, which is the free software I talked about to send invoices. Parents could not pay me by credit card because that's not an option in the free version of Wave. So they had to pay me by bank transfer because, like I said, in Canada where I am, you can do that. And it was working okay, but it wasn't easy for them to do. And a lot of them would ask, like, how come I can't just use my credit card to pay you, you know? So there was that kind of a glitch. And I started to get more students, and I had, I think, around 10, maybe between 10 and 15 students, and I was managing them all with free tools. And I was spending so much time on administrative tasks, on trying to manage all of these students, manage the calendar, manage the schedule, manage the Google Docs that I was sharing with the parents, manage the invoices, see who's paid, and send the receipts out, all this stuff. It was taking me so much time that I couldn't actually get any more students because I didn't have time for them. So then I discovered Tutorbird. Oh my gosh, it changed everything. It cut down the time it took me to manage my business to almost nothing. So now all that time was freed up to get more students, and I was able to grow my business. That the year I started using Tutorbird, I actually doubled the number of students I had. So I had close to around 30 by the time I started using Tutorbird and was able to get more students. I went from about like 10 to 15 to around 30 students, which is pretty amazing. And I was able to manage them all seamlessly, no problem. Because in Tutorbird, you get a calendar. Tutorbird sends reminders to your parents with the Zoom link so that they never miss a lesson. They have their own parent portals where they can manage their payments, their lessons, their schedules, all of that. You can send lesson notes to the parents through Tutorbird, which they love. You can share resources with them. You can send invoices to them. You can even automate the invoices, and the parents can pay right through the invoice on their credit card using I use Stripe, which again takes a fee because it is a third-party payment system, but that's okay. That's a part of doing business. And guess what? You even get a website with Tutorbird as part of your subscription. You get all of that for like $15 a month or less, depending on where you live in the world. That is a pretty good deal. So I was able to make so much more income and get so many more students once I invested into this Tutorbird system than I could when I was using free tools. So if you're at the point where you just can't manage it all with free tools anymore, click on that link in the description box and give Tutorbird a try. I think you are going to love it, and it is going to save you so much time. I hope that these 3 tips really helped you. If you're feeling a little bit scared to get started, I hope that you have some knowledge now that's going to give you the courage to take that next step to start your business and start getting students. And if you're overwhelmed with the students that you have, I hope the Tutorbird tip helps you to save a lot of time so that you can continue to grow and love your business and enjoy what you're doing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you in the next video. And don't forget to join the Tutoring Tips for Teachers Facebook group so that you can become a part of our community and book a tutor talk with me. These tutor talks are not going to last forever, but I have a link in the description box below where you can book a free tutor talk with me. I would love to just chat with you and learn more about your business and how we can support you through the Tutoring Tips for Teachers YouTube channel and Facebook group. So don't forget to book that soon. I can't wait to meet you. Bye, everyone.